Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Thursdays with Tracy. As you can see, I am solo. Before I even get started, remember to subscribe to the channel. Definitely like this episode, share with your friends, and of course, always support us on Patreon. We're headed towards 2022. I don't know where 2021 actually went. But I wanted to, since I'm solo, my goal is to keep this show under 40 minutes tonight. Let's see how well I do. There's not a well, I was gonna say there's not a whole lot to talk about, but there's a whole lot to talk about. Um, and I didn't realize that there was a lot to talk about until I looked. I'm like, wait a minute, all this stuff is kind of happening. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about, of course, is the January 6th committee. And again, I still think this is still a waste of time in terms of, because I'm trying to find this story, which is why I keep looking down. But James Meadows, he used to work for Trump in some capacity. I think he was like chief of staff or something like that. And he wrote a book, and I'll get to the January 6th part here in just a moment. He wrote a book, and in that book, he thought, oh, Trump is going to love this. Trump is going to love this book. It's going to be great. We're going to sit here. We're going to talk about it. He's going to just love this book. Turns out Trump hated the book. And apparently, one of the reasons that he hated it or hates it is because it goes into great detail about Trump's supposed role. Now, I don't plan on buying the book because, like I said, I still think this whole January 6th committee is a big waste of time. We know what happened. We know that Trump lost the election, got a committee together. They planned the January 6th terrorist attack. Now, I don't know if they thought it was going to be as bad as it was, but we know what happened. So why waste our money? Let the Department of Justice do their investigation and move on with it. But now there's apparently rumblings that some people, because they thought Meadows was going to cooperate, but now he's like apparently turned all of a sudden, gee, I wonder why. And now he's not going to cooperate, even if they do get them to show up. These five, because now they're calling Roger Stone, Michael Flynn, Meadows, some other ones. They're just going to take the fifth. I mean, everybody, including you, me, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your cousin. If you're on trial, you can take the fifth. You don't have to testify. Now, of course, somebody's going to say, "Oh, well, they could do this or that or that." No, they're guaranteed they're going to plead the fifth. That's just what I think they're going to do. Of course, I could be wrong, but I'm usually not wrong on this. And another thing that's I don't know. I guess I'm frustrated because, again, this commission, which I think is just a big waste of time. Why are they moving? I don't want to say they're moving slow because I know gathering evidence is a low process, but they're leaving the door open for Trump to run again because I really think that is what's going to happen. I seriously think that in 2024, Trump is going to run, although I have a very interesting Matt Gaetz side note. So Matt Gaetz, that guy in Florida that is being accused of taking underage girls across state line for sexual favors. He is trying to convince Trump to run for Speaker of the House if the Republicans get control of the House. And apparently, from what I understand, You don't have to be in office to be Speaker of the House, which I kind of naturally assumed. I just assumed, oh, well, you got to be, a congressperson to be Speaker of the House, because how else are they going to, how else are they going to know whether you can do the job? But apparently, there's some loophole that allows, if the Republicans win, that would allow Trump to be Speaker of the House, and he doesn't even have to get elected. Could you imagine what that would look like? You would automatically, if the Republicans win control of the House, you're going to see a Biden impeachment. There's absolutely no way that because they're so petty. They have no agenda. They have no things that they can point to that, therefore, except for stopping all abortions and making sure everyone has a gun. That's pretty much all the Republican Party does. Oh, I'm sorry. Says that Trump was robbed, but refuses to produce any evidence that says that he was. So they convinced me with that whole, well, it's just a mockery, and we're gonna take it back. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that a lot. But like I said, I part of me just wants this to be over with. But then, and I know, Trump's not going to jail. Even if all of the people who they called to testify turn on, no, because it's not our thing to put supposedly rich white people in jail. That's not what we as a country do. Should be if they're breaking the law, but we don't. And it's really time for us to look at ourselves in that type of manner and see why is it that we as a citizenry we're okay with someone who says, well, I was president, I can commit any. No, he said, if my popularity is so great, if I shot someone at Fifth Avenue, I was still good folks. And now I see what he was talking about. It's just, like I said, it just is bothering me. And I don't know why that aspect of it bothers me, if that's making any sense. It probably doesn't. I also wanted to talk about, speaking of Trump, and I want to get all this Trump stuff out the way. So, speaking of Trump, Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, has finally decided to subpoena, or she may subpoena she may subpoena Trump. She is the Secretary of State of the state of New York, so she would have the power to do that. And I don't know if they're how their whole court system works, because it's a little bit different. That's a whole different thing. I don't know if he would get like a jury trial. If he did, where you find it at? Because if he's found guilty, like, what's gonna happen to him? There's nothing gonna happen to him. So, just strange that would come up, at this time. Because if he does get served with papers, he's going to take this through the courts, drag it another 2 or 3 years. Then we'll get another Republican person in, and they'll just pardon Trump if he doesn't run. Because again, I think he's going to run. His ego will not allow him not to run. And like I said, I usually don't say this, but we better start voting in 2022, because if we don't, you can say goodbye to our voting rights. You can say goodbye to Roe v. Wade. You can say goodbye to SNAP benefits. You can say goodbye to rental assistance. All those things would be gone, because the Republicans are heartless and they don't care. Problem is that the Democrats are exactly the same. So that's just something that you have to watch for, because, like I said, it just is so cumbersome that she's doing. It's a strange time that she's doing it. Not that I'm saying I don't support her. One, he's gonna take this to court because apparently people who have things to hide, they always go to court. They always go to court, and they go through everything they do not to testify. Now somebody just came on, so I'm wondering could that person say hello, and we'll say hello to you here on the air. I see two, so that'd be great if you decide. Now, if you decide don't introduce yourself, that's perfectly fine. But thank you for watching. But like I said, what I can't figure out is whether she's actually subpoenaing him or she's thinking about it. That was the part of the story I didn't catch before this broadcast, and I should have. But again, I need somebody to do my research for me because I'm stuck doing a lot of things just to get ready for this podcast. And I'm like, okay, I cannot possibly do all of this. But I can try to be as efficient as I can, but I just can't find everything that I need at every time that I want. So, again, the New York case, I hope it goes a lot further than I think. Unfortunately, I don't think Trump is ever going to have to give an account to what he's done because think about it. As unqualified as he was, he held the title of President of the United States. Who puts a President of the United States in jail? Oh, in America. Now, certainly, and I'm saying it because it's a little hot in here. Certainly, they do in other countries. Oh, they arrest their presidents in a quick minute. America, no, we don't do it. It just looks bad. We never think about, hey, what happens if a president goes to jail? Now, President Biden could revoke Trump's Secret Service detail if he does go to prison, but he's not going to do it. That would take courage and guts and things like that. You going to wait on something? I did want to talk about a little bit, and I don't think we talked about this last week. We may have, and because I don't remember last week's show. Ethan Crumbley, the child at Oxford, Michigan, whose parents gave him a gun, and he decided that it was appropriate to go into a school and kill 4 people, injure several others, and now there's word, oh boy, I got a sticky part. Now there's word that the parents, or not the parents, the school is being looked into, which is what I thought. But, oh, hello. I have some thoughts about that because, again, I talked at length about why I think the school has some responsibility. Not to say that Crumbley did not commit the acts himself. He obviously did, but to have him sit in the office, the principal's office, and to have the parents come and you tell them, hey, you need to take this child with you, and they just refuse, and you let them go back to class. I don't know how the school is going to get around lawsuits. And I hate to be the personal injury type of attorney, but I see that coming very, very, very soon. Because I just, like, they did so many things wrong. They did not make Ethan's parents take him with them when he brought that gun to school. Of course, they didn't have weapons checks. They didn't have, what are those things that are called metal detectors? They didn't do any of those type of things. Probably thinking, oh, it'll never happen. It'll never happen to us. Not us, not our school. No, but it did. And so, yeah, I expect several lawsuits to come out of this, and that's unfortunate. One, because a 15-year-old child decided that he had to take a, was it a silencer or a revolver? I don't know a lot about guns, so I'm like, I don't know what it was, but he took a weapon that he should not have had because his parents are either complete idiots. Well, no, that's what they are. You don't you don't buy a gun for your child. That's just, it's as simple as that. You do not buy a gun for your child if that child is under 18. That's what I should have said the first time. How do you don't know what your child's at school activities are? You don't know the you should know, but some parents don't know the mental capacity that their child has to know, don't pick it up when you're mad, or et cetera, et cetera. But they were posting videos on social media. Look at my child; he's playing with his new toy. Like, you're really proud of yourself for that. And then well, not my favorite part, but a part that I thought really had me scratching my head is they decided to bail. They decided they weren't going to go jail, and they just got up and left. And went to, of all cities, Detroit. Here's now what I'm going to ask. I forget what both of their names are. So they left town after the prosecutor issued warrants for their arrest. They had contacted the office, the Attorney General's office, and said, hey, we're going to turn ourselves in. And you can come get us at this time. Well, I lost my train of thought because somebody came on in. My camera is off. You can't see me? Oh, okay. Okay, because I can see me just fine. Should be on. And that's what I was getting at. The lawyer that was covering for the parents. Oh, they were going to turn themselves in. They were going to, they were going to, they were going to turn themselves in. They just ran because they were scared. Scared of who? Maybe he could have said, there were people that were going to attack them, so maybe they felt like they should stay at a hotel for a couple of days. But they left their city and then went to Detroit. What? And I am not telling people to escape when you are wanted by the police. Do not take my next statement there. But I see Marlon coming on, so we probably not going to meet our 37-minute goal tonight, but I'm going to bring Marlon on here. Why? Well, no, I'll wait till he gets ready. But I'm just like, what were they scared of? Okay, he could have said, unfortunately, the public always assumes guilt before a trial. And people in the neighborhood may know where they live and come to attack them. That I could have understood. But they never said that. The attorney simply said, oh, they're scared. And I still wonder, scared of what? And I kept wondering that. I'm like, okay, you're scared. You don't say what you're scared of. You withdraw $4,000 out of your checking account. Now, I know $4,000 is not a lot of money. Well, to me it is. Heck, as much money as I got, $20 is a lot of money to me. But they took $4,000 out of their checking account. They went to Detroit, the largest city in the state of Michigan. Why would you go to the largest city in the state of Michigan? Why? Why? What were you thinking? Like, what, or were you thinking? Now, I know some people, oh, it was fight or flight. Well, sometimes you got to think. And, Marlon's ready now, so I'm going to bring him on.
Hello.
Hello, Marlon.
Hello. Ooh, look, a hot mess.
So I was talking about the Ethan Crumbly's stupid parents deciding to try to escape to Detroit, and why would you go to the largest city in the entire state of the entire state? Like, why?
The fact that this is, I don't want to say this is the worst parents I've seen because I'm pretty sure there has been worse. We just can't think of them right now. But the last statement that I'll go over this weekend was, and mind you, Tracy, I really was going to give up on the story. It's like, it is what it is. But come to find out that they got themselves a high price attorney.
Mm-hmm.
The son still has a public attorney. So, yeah, they could care less about this kid now. They
Yep,
really
they're
could.
just like, ride in prison like we care.
They left them. They got caught, and now they decide they're gonna pay for the best of the best for their defense, and for their son is like, well, do the best you can. I don't know what to tell you.
And that's what's scary. I think they definitely win a contest for the worst parents I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of any parents that are worse. And I just can't. And I thought, that story's gonna go sideways. And I'm like, okay. I still think that the guy who let them stay in that place they hit at, I think he's definitely the one that turned them in. I'm like, no, it's too easy.
I think we said that the last time.
I'm just like, this dude turned him in straight up.
Come on in, man. I'm gonna get you, man. I got you. And as soon as they got comfortable, he was on that phone one way.
Yeah, and the trial of and I'll get to your thoughts on this. And I'm gonna get her name wrong, and her victim's name wrong too. Kim Porter, who shot. She's a police officer.
Yeah.
Who went to the wrong apartment, thought he was in hers. She didn't have enough sense to look on the door and see, oh, gee, I don't live here.
Oh, I thought Kim Porter was the one that accidentally she thought.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. See,
she was grabbing her.
Yeah, it's so many.
I don't want to hear anybody even pick on Tracy about this. It's actually kind of sad that we have these many.
I know. It's like, wait a minute. Oh, no, you're right.
We're confused about which one did what. But yeah, Porter was the one who she thought she was pulling out a taser and she pulled out a gun.
And then she pulls it out. It's like, girl, you didn't know you was holding a taser in your hand when you saw it?
And then I want so badly to see the video. I don't.
And then I love how they bring up his past. Oh, he had a warrant. I don't care if he had a warrant. I don't care if he was head of a prostitution ring. I don't care if he was doing cocaine. I don't care if he was, well, I would care if he was running a child pornography. Okay, that, get him. But anything else, I don't care.
Because the argument is going to be, okay, explain to me what he did in the past. Explain to me which one of those deserve him to die.
He had a air freshener in his car, and that's illegal.
So that's he deserved to die because he had an air freshener. Because anything that you say that you're going to try to look up his past and tell me what he did, I want you to pick and choose which one of those things he did that says, okay, you did this, so you deserve to die.
You can't.
You always want to pull it up. You can't. So you want to pull it up to make him look like a bad guy. That's my argument. Tell me which one of those things he did that he deserved to die on.
He had a warrant, okay, so you couldn't have pulled out an actual taser, like you didn't know the difference. I mean, and trust me, you're talking to a person, I hate guns, I don't like them. Everybody, you got a right to have a gun. I personally don't like them. But I think a taser weighs less than a gun.
It does.
What? Like,
your taser and your pistol, your taser and your weapon is on totally two different sides of your waist.
So she grabbed the wrong side.
Yes.
Pointed it Like if you point like that, you gonna see. Oh, gee, wait a minute, because I'm assuming she said her taser, so she's doing that. She didn't realize. Oh, gee, that's a gun in my hand. Oh, gee, let me look at this. What?
There were several times. Even if you and I'm using this term loosely, mistake. Even if she made a mistake, there were several. There were several moments where she could have corrected a mistake. She grabbed the wrong side. Oh, wait a minute, that's not the side of my taser. This is my side of the taser. No, you pulled it up. Oh, this doesn't look like a taser. This looks like a gun. So I'm not going to shoot it. You had several moments to stop it, and you didn't.
And you never did. And the way she shot him, it was so purposeful. I was watching Tim Black's podcast last night, and I have to agree with him. I'm like, she did this on purpose. There's no way you can convince me she didn't. Because, like you said, she had too many opportunities to do what she's talking about she meant to do. Like, this was a purposeful thing, and I don't care what you said.
The video shows her falling on the ground, crying about, I'm going to go to jail. I'm going to go to jail.
No, you're going to go to prison, honey, hopefully.
Well, no, my thought is you just shot the dude. This was
is he all right?
Is he all right? Oh, my God, I just shot somebody. No, it was still back on you. I'm going to go to jail forever. It was still back on you.
And that just really makes me so angry, is because when I hear things like, all lives matter, I can't no more. It's like I have literally lost my patience with the all lives matter. Miss me with that. Because the case I was actually confusing it with, I don't believe I did that. I was like, oh, I was talking about the other one. Like I said, there's so many. I'm like, well, it was this one, and then this one, and then this one. But the one that I think took place was it Georgia?
Tracy, I'll be honest with you, I can't remember.
Well, the one where the dumb cop
until it goes to trial. I mean, I remember what you're saying, carrying a sandwich. No, that's a different one.
That's a different one. See, that shows just how reckless the police are. That we're sitting here trying to remember, like, which case is which one. That's ridiculous.
We got one that broke into the dude's house. It said it was her house. Shot the guy.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
We got one that he said it was a call. He went up. He looked suspicious. He just got back from Subway with a sandwich, held the sandwich, and he was shot at his doorstep. At his home. It is too many of this. And Tracy, I agree with you. This whole all lives matter thing, but these stories are so becoming intertwined with each other that you don't know which one is which now until you go to court. If it goes to court, it is pathetic.
And I want everybody on the other side to miss me with the America is not a racist. Shut up. Not you, Marlon, but shut up. I don't. No, it's racist. It's been racist since whenever the Pilgrims came and stole the land from the indigenous population. That moment right there. Just miss me with this. Miss me with this whole, well, we elected a black president, and then you elected Trump. Thank you for proving my argument. I cannot anymore.
And by the way, we elected a black president. Yeah, 1 out of 45. 46 now.
Yeah.
1 out of 46. So?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But still, them parents, whoo,
But thing is, you had to go there. You had to find the worst of the worst.
Yeah, you had to find, because I was like, well, who could be worse?
You had to go find the worst of the worst. And yeah, that is worse, but...
Well, actually, if you think about it, let's think about it, though. Aren't they selling their child out? A public defender. How good is a public defender going to be for him?
They're not selling them out. They don't care anymore. This is about, we
can't go to jail. We can't go to jail. Not us.
At this point in time, it's all about them. And I don't know what's going on with the school board.
Yeah, the school's being investigated. I talked about that at the top of the hour.
Oh, well, the DA. So you told them about the DA said, we're gonna allow you to give your side of the story. We're gonna work together and everything. And
oh no, that part I didn't. I just kind of gave a brief overview.
Well, the DA went to the school board and said, well, obviously we're going to open an investigation. We're going to get your side of the story. We're going to put a timeline together. We're going to go do the ins and outs and everything and make sure not only do we know what happened, but, find a way to prevent this from ever happening again. School board said no.
Also, the school board, like I said, the school board looked for a lawsuit.
Yeah, they said no.
Look for a minimum.
We don't want your help.
Look for a minimum of the 4 children that unfortunately lost their lives. Their parents are going to sue that school and the school board. I'm like, really?
Well, they're not too bright considering that we're talking about the DA of the state. What she was doing was actually out of the kindness of her heart. She really don't have to ask him jack.
She could have just said, I'm investigating now.
We're going to investigate y'all and we're that's it. But she was just being nice. So
sometimes you can't be nice.
Yep. They're not. She was, the way she was talking, she was devastated by them saying, no, we don't need you. No, we don't want any of your help. No.
Yeah, I skipped that part because I didn't realize it. I just thought, just talked about how idiotic the parents were. I'm like, y'all a bunch of selfish nitwits. But, it's, like I said, get back on the multiple shootings by cops. I used to be one of these people. I know people say defund the police is a bad slogan. Whatever. I get the point. But I'm coming so close to saying just get rid of them. Because every time you turn around, it seems like they're shooting another black person. And it's like, how many times are they going to get away with this? We wouldn't have even gotten the 3 guilty verdicts in Georgia had not one of those idiots taped what was happening.
No,
I'm just like, what are we doing?
We wouldn't have went to trial if the guy was not so. For the people who says there's no racism going around, this was this guy's. Sorry, but I have to say it this way, Tracy. This was this guy's personal snuff film. He knew that the dude was being murdered by his friends.
Exactly.
And he thought this was a great, party film to show to your friends and family. And he showed it to the wrong person, and that's who turned him in. But really and truly, he just thought, haha, look at this film. I'm going to show you this dude getting shot, close place, point blank, and thought it was just funny. This was a viewing. This film was about to be a viewing party.
It's a moderate, even though they use rope. This is so comparable to a lynching.
Yeah, it is.
And it just makes me sick. And like I said, I used to be one to say, okay, there's some good cops around. We just don't know about them. Now I'm just like, just abolish the police. Let's just get something else. A community police, something else has to work because this what we have, it's not working. And I can be completely wrong, but I'm just like, I can't anymore. I cannot keep getting my shootings of black people killed confused. I should not be at the point where I'm like, oh, well, no, I was talking about this one. Or I was talking about this one. Or no, it was this one. And speaking of police forces, I gotta talk about the police in Torrance, California. What the heck is wrong? Oh, you don't know about it because you look like, what are you talking about? Yeah. So the police in Torrance, California, I think there were 4 of them. They decided amongst themselves to exchange texts. They were anti-LGBTQ. They were anti-black. They were anti-Jewish. They were xenophobic. Every group that they could be against, they basically came out against. To the point that cases where they made the arrest, some of those cases are being overturned. And
Well,
I know some people are saying, oh, well, they should fire them. The problem is, if you fire them, they're just going to go to the next county over and get a job because we don't have public immunity anymore, and we never had it, and we won't get it because real police reform, what needs to take place, is never going to happen.
we need a national database.
Exactly.
Nobody, which there's not going to be I ain't gonna say. Well, no, I can say it. There's not going to be one Republican that's going to vote for it. Maybe one.
Nope.
And
No,
then
because
you have some Democrats who definitely is not going to vote for it.
nope, because you'll always have, you're trying to stop the police, and you don't believe in the men in blue. And look, again,
They'll pull the accountability of the state, the accountability of the county. It's their responsibility. It's we don't want a police state where all their information out there. Then we'll get into cyber whatever where you don't want a national database because then everybody will know where every cop lives, and that's a danger to them. They'll come up with 1,000 excuses other than saying you don't want every cop to be accountable for everything that they do and the nation knows about it.
exactly the same reason why there's not a national gun registry. Exactly the same reason. Oh, you know their address. Well, you're buying a gun, so why shouldn't I know you? But yeah, the police force apparently in Torrance, California is so bad, so racist, so anti-gay, so anti-Muslim. They even went to the point, I didn't even tell you the worst part. They even went to the point where they were exchanging texts on how to make a noose. And there was a case where a black infant was urinated on by a non-black person. And the police officer texted the other ones, well, what's the crime in that? A baby. A baby.
None of these things, it got to the point where none of these, you fight the good fight because you want it to stop, but your emotions is somewhat
I think I'm just ready to deject and be like, I just don't know what to say about our country.
I can't say anything anymore.
I'm
like, not shocked about anything.
I'm shocked. A baby? You would say, what's the crime?
Well, of course you will. You don't.
That's a baby.
You know, but it's a black baby.
I don't care if the baby was blue, yellow, orange, purple, green.
I 100% agree, but it was a white cop who could care less that it was a black baby being urinated. Had it been a white baby, they'd have found every crime in the book they could find.
Yeah, and like I said, firing them is not enough because all they're going to do is go over to the next county, get a job there, and continue the same thing. That's basically what's going to happen. I think a whole lot more cases are going to get overturned, which I hope they do, especially if those four were.
I think that's that's what's going to start happening. I was arguing with Theus about this, but I was saying that the country is being more liberal. Bo said it better. Bo on the fifth column said it better. The country is becoming more liberal. The government isn't. Correct. And that's who we're fighting. So yeah, these cases and stuff like this where years ago where we wouldn't even went to trial and it had been brushed up under the rug and everything else, because the country is sick and tired of this stuff happening too. So we're going to start making a whole bunch of noise to make sure, hey, you're not going to get away with this stuff. I'm going to make sure that you don't get away with this stuff. I'm going to make enough noise that we're going to go to public and everything else. The police held the gun and the court held the news there. Both are enemies. They won't be fit. Yeah.
Yep, that's a problem.
But that's my deal. The country is going more liberal where we're telling you, hey, you need to stop doing this and we're going to make some noise until you stop doing this. The government isn't. So they're going to fight the people, apparently, all the way to the end of saying, Nothing
And
going
we'll
on.
give
You're
you
making a
more
big deal
money for
about it.
your budget. We'll give you more money than you even asked for.
Yeah, we'll create a holiday and we'll. I just read an article where it was like we're thinking about making a four day work week. No, you're not. You're
Mm-mm.
not.
That would
There's no
benefit
way
too
in the
many
world.
people.
There's no way in the world you're gonna make a 4 day work week. It's a nice little headline that you could put on there, but you're not gonna have a 4 day work week. You think the government thinks people are lazy now.
Yep. Oh, 4 days a week. Mm-mm.
You can't even get an extension on unemployment because you think everybody lazy. They don't want to work for minimum wage and work themselves to the bone. You really think we're gonna have a 4 day work? Come on, no.
No, we sure
no.
won't. We sure won't. And that's where that's where I scratch my head. I'm just like, what can we do? There's got to be something, and I don't know what it is. Everybody throw out ideas because I'm just scratching my head. But the last thing, because I said this show is going to be a short show. The show is going to be short. I want to talk about
Her show gonna be short.
short
My show winds up being 3 hours, but
because we got an after party to go to. Roe v. Wade. I'm pretty much thinking this is gone. I don't see the way that Trump set up the courts. I think they're gonna strike it down. Just completely.
I don't think they're gonna strike it down. I think they're just gonna weaken it.
See, that's where I'm gonna disagree. But
Okay.
you tell me what you
I've heard it before that it's gonna be gone. I'm just like, I don't think they're gonna get rid of it because the one thing that Supreme Court never wants to do is look weak, especially looking weak towards government, because it always makes them look like they can be bought.
which they pretty much can be, but
Which they pretty much is. But so that's why I said I don't think they're going to strike it down per se. I do think, however, they're going to find a way to weaken the laws. I do think they're going to find a way where they're just going to open it up even more for the states to make their final decision about it.
and that's yeah. And like I said on a previous post, this whole thing could have been avoided by two different ways. There are two different ways we could have did this. One, we need a federal law that protects a woman's reproductive health. Period. Point blank. That would just solve it. Sure, every Republican would vote for it. But guarantee, I'm thinking Manchin is pro-choice. I'm not 1,000% certain about that. In this case, we'd have to get rid of the filibuster. I know. That's one way. He could have just made a federal law saying no. If you're a woman, you're guaranteed health care in terms of terminating a pregnancy if you choose. That's one.
Will never happen in a million years.
No, it won't because. And then the second thing we could have done, and people said that this wouldn't work either, is Biden could have simply packed the courts.
Biden, in a sense, is packing the courts.
I'm talking about the Supreme Court, not the lower ones.
That will have to change to more than the 7, or is it 9?
It's 9.
9. That would have to be, and I'll just let you in on a little thing about the Supreme Court.
They're old.
They're gonna fight. They're gonna find a way to the Republican Party, because if you don't believe that the Republican Party would do it, the chance they get, watch. But they're gonna try to pack the courts, use a tradition. If they one time even try to throw the Constitution in there, then they're gaslighting and or they don't know what they talking about. The number of Supreme Courts members in the Supreme Court is not in the Constitution.
No, but my only fear is with packing the courts, then you'll get a Republican president. Yep. Then they'll pack it. And then you'll have to just keep going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And that's the only hesitation, which is why I like my first theory better than I like my second one. Because in theory, if we had a national law, we wouldn't be going through this mess where Mississippi could say, "Oh, well, the only way you can get." I wish people who were pro-life would just mind their own business.
They can't.
But just like, look, you are against abortion. Don't have one. That's the easiest answer I can tell you. You're so against it. Don't have it. Just don't have one. But nope, they want to tell not only, and this is not, most of the people who vote for these laws to repress women's reproductive health are men. Period. Point blank. You as a male are never going to have a child. So I'm going to ask, what say do you have on a woman's reproductive rights? But I know some people feel like the fathers should have a say. But in terms of these legislative bodies, it's always some white Republican, super conservative state that Trump won by a whole lot of votes doing this kind of crap.
And these are the same ones who want to argue about individual liberties.
Yep, they don't want to wear a mask.
They don't want to wear a mask. They don't want to get the shot and all this other stuff that they like to talk about. And that's the hypocrisy of it. If you break it down in a nutshell, they do not want you to ever tell them what they can or cannot do.
But they sure love.
They have no problem telling you.
Sure don't. They have no problem. Tell them, oh, you should stand up for the national anthem. No, I won't. For what? You should stop saying Black Lives Matter. Yes, they do. Until
they don't ever say that stuff to me. No, not anymore.
You should stop advocating. You're for killing babies. No, let's get this right, pro-choice, pro-life people. Nobody's for abortion. What we're for is the government staying out of our business. That's all we saying. We're not sitting here telling you what to believe, what you want to believe. But if you're going to be pro-life, you better be for expanding SNAP benefits to mothers who are having these children. You better be for giving tax breaks, because you always tell the woman, oh, put the child up for adoption, missing the fact that there's almost 500,000 children in the foster care system right now that are not being adopted. You totally glance by that portion. So you need to create some type of tax credit that will give people, money to adopt a child, because it's not cheap. You need to have health care for that child. Let me backtrack. Make Medicare for all the law of the land. And then we can talk about you being pro-life.
Once a child is, they will fight tooth and nail to get that child born.
Yes, because they're pro-birth.
And once they're born, though,
that's it. You're on your own.
You're an abandoned child. Whatever comes after that is strictly and utterly on the parents. Period.
Yep. And then they'll tell the woman, oh, you shouldn't have had the baby. You know what you were doing.
You shouldn't have had the baby if you couldn't afford it. You should have had the baby if you wasn't well. You should have had the baby if you knew about your preconditioned mental health. All these things. They could always tell you what you shouldn't have done, which is the same thing as saying you should not have an abortion.
And I'm still waiting on people who just want this outlawed. I keep telling them, just because you have a law that says abortion is illegal, that does not mean that some woman is not going to get one. That's what they don't realize. I'm like, women are going to get abortions irregardless of whether it's a law or not.
It is a shot against the poor in this country.
Absolutely. Because the rich women are always going to get theirs, period.
Yeah, the rich women is going to find a safe way of doing it, regardless.
Absolutely.
And for the fact that you're not even going to know about it.
Nope, you'll never know she was pregnant. You'll be like, what?
But this is a shot against the poor people, because they're the ones who the one abortion clinic in each state or let alone maybe even each county. But majority of the time, it's one abortion clinic in each state. You have to stay in that state or with the city or county that it's in. You have to stay in that city or state for 48 hours. You also have to have a doctor's note, which is, I don't even know the word to even say about that, saying that the doctor went over the issues that may occur. You got to get a doctor's note. Basically, they treating these people like children.
You forgot the one important part. They have to take a class or a session where they're like a pro-life person comes in and talks to them. You forgot all about that part.
Now, with all of that said, try to tell me that a rich person going to do that same stuff.
She surely not.
She makes it. It's two moves. She makes the appointment and she's there.
Or I'm gonna say it. I don't care. Nobody likes it. Or the rich white politician's mistress that he's paying for.
Oh yeah, he already done paid for it. Ain't no shame in saying that. It's the same thing. You'll never know. You'll never know.
Cause she not rich. Cause he just keeping her paid to keep her quiet.
Yeah. Now that's kind of different because she could have the baby.
She could
and keep it quiet.
But he gon' make sure she don't have it. Trust me. He gonna convince her to have that abortion. Period. Because it's gonna mess his career up. He'll tell the public, "Oh, I'm pro-life. I would never take the life of a child. Never."
Once you
Meanwhile,
once you have enough money and once you have enough power, it's really kind of hard to explain to people what they can and can't do.
And the one thing I really want people to miss me with was this one. I don't know if you've heard this, Marlon, and people in the comment section can comment too. If one more person brings up to me, "Oh, well, Planned Parenthood was started to kill black children." Okay, the lady who founded that years and years before you was even thought of is no longer with us. Just because
wait a minute. So wait a minute, say that again?
A lot of black people say that the person that founded Planned Parenthood, her name is Margaret something, that she was an unabashed racist, which she probably was. Then they said her goal in finding Planned Parenthood was to kill black children.
So now we're paying attention to history.
Yeah, could you say that?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm just
you said
it. And I'm just asking the question. So now we're paying attention to history. This is when we need to start listening to history.
Yeah, now we got
way to go. Because y'all keep saying that history is done and we don't need to worry about no more.
Exactly.
But now we need to be worried about this history.
Yeah, now we know. Exactly. And I always retort with two. Yours and the NAACP was partially founded by white people. Mm-hmm. And then I just leave it alone.
Now we need to pay attention to history.
Yeah, now we got to sit here and pay attention. Oh, now we got... I'm just saying, miss me with that. Just miss me. I don't care. You don't care about history, so guess what? I don't care about it either.
I'm not. If we look, pick a path. If we're not going to listen to any more history and everything else because it's old and it's a long time ago and it's not important, okay, fine. Don't tell me about remember the Democrats used to be Republicans. Don't tell me about child parenthood and everything. I don't want to hear none of it. Then
the Republicans are the ones that freed the slaves.
Yeah, you're not gonna pick and choose which history you want to tell people because that's still controlling. And obviously, you would not dare want to be controlling. That's
because it's my body, my choice, isn't it?
And that includes my ears. So I ain't got to hear anything that you say.
Exactly. Well, I said I was going to keep it short. I almost made it. Almost. But...
Theus is in the car, so that's why.
See, Theus, he cracking you. He can't say nothing now because he driving.
I know, he's still driving. That's why he can't say nothing.
He like, what? So, remember...
No, that ain't me. No, I don't do that.
In conclusion, everybody remember to like. YouTube has me off suspension, so I'm back at the original channel. So remember to please like this video, share this video, comment, and support us on Patreon. Speaking of the Patreon, in the next 2 minutes, I'll meet you all in the after party. It's going to be a real brief one, but I'm still going to have one. And I'll see you all there who are Patreons. You got the link, and I'll see you in a bit.